Hi, hi everybody. It's Agnes, and I want to welcome you to another interview. This is a very special one for me because this is my friend Kate. Hello, Kate. Kate, I wanted to introduce you to Kate because she is the very first story in my third book, Boomerang, and her success story around creativity. I was a big part of the journey in the beginning. Kate was actually my boss, and we became friends. And I was part of her very beginning of creating an amazing business with a candle shop in the Blue Mountains of Sydney, Australia. And you are going to get a very special little tour at the end of the interview. I've asked Kate if she'll walk us through the gallery where all the homewares and the paintings are, and she said yes. So let's rewind back to the beginning. Kate, how did all of this start? And, what did you, when you were not doing this creatively amazing, meaningful work that you're doing now, what were you doing before and what were you wanting to do that got you going?
Okay, so thanks for asking me to do this one. Yes, it's a real treat. So before, when I did the candles, do you mean? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, like when I first met you, you were in that little shop and it was very small and it had just sort of barely begun when I first met you, not when I worked for you, but before I first met you. So can you start from kind of there?
Very, very beginning. Okay. So myself and my partner had a very small little business, a retail store, upstairs in a cute little, I guess it was a country town then. It's a bit busier now, but back then there wasn't a lot happening. And we were selling handmade things and lighting and art and different sort of unusual stuff. But it was very slow and we weren't really making much money out of it. We were lucky to sort of, put food on the table from week to week. But during that time, I started asking a really deep and profound question, which is, how may I serve? And I asked that to divine or to the divine spirit. I asked that of my own soul. And every day...
Kate, can you say what you asked again? What was the exact sentence?
How
can I serve? Yeah.
How may I serve? Every day.
Yeah.
And in between customers, which were very few and far between, I had a lot of time to sit and ask that question and write in my journal and have a lot of quiet time for meditation. And from that, I started to get a vision really that dropped into my knowing, into my being. And the vision was a store filled with candles. And I thought, that's a bit weird, but I went with it. And the more I thought about it, the more it started to flesh itself out into that it was a sensory experience, that people could come into the store and not just see the candles, but experience the fragrance and the colour and the light. And when they would come into the store, they would feel uplifted and joyful and excited. So So from that vision, a whole bunch of things just kind of clicked into place. So a space became available down on the main street, which was a busier location, and it just had actually been taken by another guy had come in and put an offer and it was accepted. And I went home, I thought, oh, I've missed it. That's not going to happen. And then as I'm lying there thinking about that, I get a phone call. Well, actually, if you can make this offer, then it's yours. And yeah, let's do it. We didn't actually have the money at all, but I said, and I said yes. And then,
I didn't know that. I didn't know that part of the story.
And then we just sold everything that we had in the little upstairs shop. We had a big sale and we sold it all. And we made just the right amount of money. Plus I had a small loan from my brother. And that was just enough to open up the the store downstairs. And so from there, we went to work fixing it up and filling it with candles, basically. We had a few other things, but mostly candles. And that was before candles were really a thing in Australia. So
what year was that? It was 2000 something?
2 years ago. So is that 19?
How many years ago? Oh, 22 years ago. Yeah, it's it's late 90s.
Yeah, we caught the wave of the whole, candle thing before it really happened. So from the moment people really loved it, and I loved it. I felt very happy and really purposeful, and all my creative juices were flowing, and I was getting a lot of, ideas of how to do it and make it a really great experience for people coming in the store. Anyway.
Yeah.
Financial success from the very beginning, more than I could have imagined, and the way that things just clicked into place. And I think that's when you came along too. And we had a lot of fun doing all the displays and with colour and and everything. It was just a lot of fun.
It was.
Yeah, really.
It was. So when I met you and I started working for you, it was literally just one room.
Yes.
It was one room with a very narrow front. It was a cute little, like you said, country town shop over the years it's become more of an upmarket
and the
place.
Was the toilet, the office, room, and the lay-by room all in one.
And the toilet had a hole where the doorknob used to be, so you could, if you're sitting down, you could actually look into the shop and see the customers coming in. Yes. I still remember that. That was so funny. But it was the one room, like you said, with the little office. And then over the years, it has turned into there was an opportunity to dig down into the back part of where it was sitting, because it was the street was here, and then there was all this rock and land and stuff behind. So from that, you've created an extra how many rooms?
An extra 4 rooms, which kind of
an extra 4.
Yeah, they kind of go down. There's staircases going down, so there's levels, and there's
levels. Yeah.
Now, which houses?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And that's where the artwork is.
Very not planned as such. It just kind of all happened, unfolded, and following those prompts as they came up.
Yeah. So looking back at, not having a successful business to this thing just exploding and flourishing, I also know that you created, then when you had the shop going quite well, then you went on to online, and then you went on to going back to one of your first loves, which was painting. So you combine those things. When did you actually start the online sales of the candles?
Well, that would be maybe 10 years ago.
Okay.
Keeping up with all the technology and the way people shop now. So have to keep learning how to technology, and it's convenient for people to get online and shop that way. So that was the next step, and that
was the next step
as we go along too.
Yeah. And I remember you saying to me, I don't know if this was a great idea, because it's actually not working that well, because you were really on the crest of beginning online shopping. So of course it wasn't working that well, because a lot of people still didn't know about it and didn't know how to use it.
Yeah, that's right.
I remember that you said, I don't know if this is really, and of course, looking back, that's quite funny, because you were so at the beginning of that. It makes sense that it wasn't working for a while. Yeah. So looking at daily practices and just along the journey of this amazing, creative, meaningful work that you've been doing, what have been your daily practices to, well, just to inject into the work that you do?
Yeah, I guess my spiritual life has always been a parallel to my business life. So I don't separate them. I see that my spiritual life and my business life are kind of one. But in order for that to be a seamless integration, there's like daily practices of meditation, like morning meditation or evening meditation, or sometimes both. Being taking nature walks, and really listening to my intuition as things come up, and trusting that is a big part of my, the work that I do is trusting my intuition. But working with affirmations, with prayer, with meditation. Yeah.
Lovely. And for those that don't know about Australia that much, the area where you are from, the Blue Mountains of Australia, is very much a Aboriginal area that, there is not a huge amount of Aboriginals there now, but it is Aboriginal land. And I know you're painting a lot of the, as we can see from behind you, a lot of the native flowers and what is very unique to the Australian landscape.
Yeah.
Yeah. What made you choose that?
It's just what speaks to me. So, well, I feel like I just want to step back a little bit and say, after doing 20 years of candle business and homewares business, right, and interesting and fulfilling, and having a child in that as well, and managing all of that. And then I got to a point when I turned 50 that I thought, well, I feel like there's something more, and I want to discover what that something more is. And so again, just asking that internal asking, what else is there? What am I? How may I serve? How may I contribute? And asking by journaling, or by just mentally asking that, or in prayer in the morning, what can I do? Be fulfilling for me, bring joy, but also put me on purpose. And how can I give what gifts I have to give to the world? And from that, I just got the idea, well, my art, I have this thing inside of me, and I haven't really explored it fully. I always kept my art going right through the development of the business, but it was sort of, maybe 5 paintings a year, or a little bit on the weekends, or, sketching if I went on holidays, but not really, really going in for it deeply, into a practice. So when that came to me that that's what I needed to do, I stumbled across a course online, actually, an American guy called Nicholas Wilton, and he has an art course called Art to Life, which is an online thing. You can do it anywhere in the world, and he goes deeply into developing your art practice. And it's fantastic because he looks at all kinds of things like fears that might be blocking you from doing it, and your self-sabotaging, limiting beliefs from going into it. So I like how he had that aspect of the course, along with very practical how-to, methods of painting, not necessarily techniques, but things to think about when you're painting. So yeah, really, really great course. So
I'll put the link to that course down below too, Kate, for those that want to check it out.
Absolutely, I highly recommend it. So what
I just interrupted your flow. No, you were talking about the practices of.
Yeah, because you asked about practices I do.
Yes.
For painting, or for just general kind of business.
Like you said, they run parallel, and I agree with you. They really do run parallel. I think when you do meaningful work, those two parts of your life merge.
They do. They kind of intersect, and I can't separate them. So my spiritual life and my artistic, creative life are one. I see them as one. And so
Yeah.
therefore the energy of that spiritual practice goes into my painting, so that I feel that that energy actually emanates off the paintings. And yeah, it's interesting, but that's the number one comment I get from people when they, you know, talking about my art. I do like it. Is that I just feel joyful. I feel joyful when I look at it. So that makes it really good, knowing that that's in the practice. So
I loved how you said, when you sent me the email, I was rereading it this morning, and you were talking about that when you paint, you often do affirmations or the Ho'oponopono prayer, or, you know, you've got, you're listening to YouTubes or podcasts, and you're in a really good space. You put yourself in a good space before you pick up a brush.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love that. I think that's, you know, it's like cooking, and cooking with love. It's the same. You inject love into your cooking, you put it into your artwork or your music or whatever you're creating. And I think that the energy of that hangs on the wall with your paintings, and it, like you say, it comes through and people feel it. I love that it's not just, okay, let me get this shape right, or let me get this, you know, color right. It's so much more than that.
First, and then the rest will just happen, you know. Without
that's brilliant.
Much, you know. There is an efforting, but it's a relaxed efforting, if you know what I mean. Flow, it's a flow that happens. So course with that guy, Nicholas Wilton. I started to get the thought, well, maybe I could, you know, really just sell a lot of art in the gallery instead of just homewares and things like that, which is what I had been doing, which actually was the original idea that I had when we first set up. Oh, that's great. Once the downstairs is all fixed up, I'll be able to put my art there. But then the business became so busy, and my life was so busy, that there was no space for my creative life. So I literally had to carve out time to do it. This is a priority, and if I want to put this as a new career at 50, then I really just need to get super disciplined around it. Get up, you know, put the hours in, put the brush time in, and then it all just started to kind of pour out, like it's just without too much effort, and without that little voice on your shoulder saying, that's not good enough. Who do you think you are being an artist? You can't do that. Always sort of plagued me in my past. Or, I'm not good enough, or I can't do that. Or, I'm going to want that because it's not of a certain level or a certain standard that people are going to appreciate. But once I and I got rid of that negative thought, and a lot of that came through course actually, and putting into practice a self-belief that I can do this, and I do have something to offer. So
I always find that I'm not good enough belief so funny, because you think, good enough for who? Like who's standing there that I'm supposed to be good enough for? Like, it's such a weird belief, isn't it, when you really kind of go,
that's
okay, I'm 50 now. I think I can be good enough. Well, it's funny because I still have the 2 paintings that I got from you, and they would be at least 20 years old. One's the one of the corn lady, which was really symbolic, because it was about abundance and about, you know, and my life has definitely now reflected that. And that beautiful one with the emu feather. It was in those soft greens. I still remember I saw it and I went, oh my God, I love that.
That's really special.
I've still got them. We'll never get rid of them, because it's a part of you and it's a part of the history, you know, and all of that. So those are good moments and I think too, they represented, like, seeing them reminded me of, this is possibility.
Yeah.
Like if Kate can do this, then I can do this in my own creative, meaningful work way. This is possible, you know. So I would look at them, especially the corn lady, because she was such a quirky little funny, you know, she had her cornucopia. She was holding this thing with all this fruit and different things hanging out of it, you know, representing abundance. And and it was like, yep, that's the beginning of planting a seed.
And you know, everyone's what you want to see in things. So that meaning that you imbued into the paintings, then so every time you look at them, you would have abundance or or whatever it is that you feel when you look at an artwork.
Yeah, exactly. It's so great seeing because I didn't see you for a few years. I mean, I was kind of moving around and out of the country, and you and I I left the mountains, and then we kind of lost touch for periods of time. And it's like you come back and you see the journey of how things have unfolded, and now this is your I mean, you said to me, I've now sold over 250 paintings, which for an artist is an amazing just personal achievement to say that. And we are going to I will put a link down to the homewares business and the website for your art for people that want to be inspired and have a look. And because it's so good, especially because there are people that want to creative people that are working 9-to-5 jobs that don't want to be doing that. They don't know where to start. So I think starting is being inspired by someone else's journey.
That's right. And I think when you see other people doing it and having something, it gives you the feeling, well, I can do that. How can I do that? That's certainly what happened to me. And I thought, well, you know, I'm really fortunate. I've got a great platform, a gallery that I can actually put them in. If you don't have a platform like that, you can also sell your artwork on Etsy. You can sell it on Instagram. You can sell it on Facebook. You could YouTube and do, you know, how to, and then have links to a website or whatever. So many ways to get your art out there.
Definitely.
Technology available.
Yeah, we're so not restricted. How do you find you sell more online or more physical in the gallery?
More physical in the gallery, but that's shifting. And I think because we do get quite a few people through the gallery and a lot of international visitors and locals and, you know, people from Sydney and different parts of Australia. People now contact me through email. I have commissions, you know, well in advance for a few months now, keeping me busy, plus just keeping up what I need to fill the walls here in the gallery. So I start off Instagram, they both start off Facebook. They might see my website and send me an email and say, oh, you know, how do I buy it? And there's lots of different ways that people can find you.
Yeah, for sure. And we're so not restricted to finding a gallery and then having to go and take the physical paintings there. That, I mean, you can do that. That's one way, but there's so, like you said, there's all these other ways. Just like that woman, Melissa, she did a lot of that stuff too. And it's so great.
Or having
go ahead.
Putting your work in a group exhibition, or having a little pop-up with you know, some fellow artists or something, and having a little, you know, pop-up exhibition, and then that way they get to know you, and then they can follow you on Instagram or whatever.
Exactly. How many hours a week would you paint, or days? Do you have days off, or do you just paint when you feel like it?
No, I have a bit of a routine. So Monday to Friday are my painting days, and I do usually between 5 and 6 hours a day of painting in the studio, which is, you know, a lot. I incorporate my spiritual practice with my painting, and as you mentioned before, I listen to things while I'm in there. So it's kind of relaxing. It's not hard work, but it is show up every day. And then I do spend one day in the gallery talking to people and then I have Saturday off.
You actually go into where you are right now and you talk to people while they're looking at paintings. Oh, what a good idea.
Yeah, it's really nice. Have great.
Yeah. And you don't work in the shop, the homeware store, the candle shop anymore? No.
But I do ordering stock and overseeing the website from home.
Yeah.
That might maybe an hour a day. Depends. Some days not. It depends what's going on. Yeah,
nice. Isn't it great when you wake up in the morning and there's nothing that you do that you don't like?
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Still have to do the washing and the cleaning and all
that. Yeah, that stuff. But yeah, there's so many good bits of the day.
Yeah.
So is there anything else anything else come to mind that you want to share, or?
Well, just you asked about those practices as well when in the studio. So and I think you could probably apply this to anything you do really, but for me it was specifically around painting because that's what I'm doing. But when I walk into the studio, I open the door and I just say, hello angels, and I welcome them into my studio with me. So whether it doesn't matter, it's all, you're inviting in your higher self or your higher being. And then I will just say a few affirmations to kickstart the day. I paint with love, and love flows through me as I paint. And then I just have a quiet kind of maybe 5 minutes just being quiet with myself. And then I say to myself, I paint from the heart and love flows into my art. May all my art uplift people, and may my art bring joy and connect people to nature. And I just say to myself as I'm painting as well, like if I have the thought while I'm painting, I might say a Ho'oponopono, or I might say, I am love, or love is in my heart, or may love flow through me as I'm actually painting, but not 6 hours of that is a long time. Sporadically.
Yes.
I think that just helps to center me and keep me in that sort of focus, and it helps me to follow my intuition as well as I'm painting. So I'm very intuitive. I don't have this is what I'm painting. I have more of a kind of an idea of what I'm going to do, but I let the painting lead me where it wants to go. So if the more I'm in tune with being in touch with myself and my higher self and my guidance, the more that will just sort of naturally flow. So I don't get stuck in those kind of, difficult struggle times in the studio, which I think used to happen for me a lot. Now it just tends to flow. And even if I don't like what I'm doing, I don't get too worried about it. I just think, well, it's going to work out eventually. I'll just try this and it'll find its own way. Yeah. So
Kate, do you work on multiple paintings at once, or you do one and you finish it?
Yeah, no, I do. I have sometimes little ones. I might have up to 10 little ones.
Okay.
And why I do that is because I use it like a no thinking process. So with little abstracts, I try not to think too much, and I just kind of roughly do them. Because they become spontaneous and very fluid. Then if I'm working on the bigger pieces, maybe I'll work on 2 up to 3 bigger pieces at a time. And if I'm working on the same palette, it's because that colour palette will flow into each one, but each one will be slightly different with different vibe.
Nice. No. Do you ever get to a point where you go, oh, this one's not working, I'm letting this go, let me go and move on to something else? And when you come back with fresh eyes, you kind of know which way to go on the one you were stuck on?
I used to do that, but not so much now. Now it tells me what it needs straight away.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't. I used to go, oh, and not like it and put it in the corner and turn it back, turn it away. in the corner,
God.
you know, and then I'd pull it out, and then I might, you know, a week later know what to do. But not so much now. It tends to kind of happen more easily.
Mm. Do you think that's because you're doing it more consistently, or you've changed your way, like you do all the little prayers and your preparation internally beforehand?
I think both. I think it's
Both. Yeah. Nice.
and not getting worried about it. You know, the worst thing you can do is worry about it.
Yeah.
Because then you feel stress and you kind of clench up and you get, you know, contracted. And the idea is kind of be open and expansive and more relaxed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the painting teaches you so much about yourself, doesn't it?
It really does. Yeah.
Wow. How exciting. Well,
I've just
what's that?
My little battery's saying it's running out of power. Because I'm in the gallery, so I didn't bring my charger.
Okay. Do you want to give us a quick little tour before it dies? If we can.
Yeah.
Okay, take us with you. Take us with you.
So, it's nighttime here, so there's a black window. But these are some of the big. These are giant. I don't know if you can see that.
Oh yes, like a Waratah.
It's actually a Banksia.
A Banksia.
Banksias are my chosen native flower at the moment.
Yeah.
These are more sort of, I call them semi-abstract paintings. They're very patterned. They have a rhythm. They have a musicality to them. Lots of color.
Yeah.
I'll take you up close.
Yeah, nice. Oh, wow.
And I use a lot of line work and overlaying colors and design. Some of them have birds.
Yeah.
And different kind of, that one's got acacia wattle in it. And there's some of the homewares there. Candles and things.
Yeah.
More artworks, photography as well. I don't know if I'm fast. Anyway.
No, that's fine.
That's a big
that's a big one. Yeah.
Yeah. And I do these little native birds as well.
Yeah.
There's a bit of here. That's some beautiful Australian candles from Glasshouse.
Nice.
These ones are abstracts.
Yeah.
And in here, more paintings, more giant portraits of Banksias, black cockatoo, beautiful native bird.
Wow. Yeah. I like how each room's got a different color palette scheme.
Yeah, that's right. We try to make it slightly different. This has got the blues in it.
Yeah. Oh, let's see that one up close. The big one. Oh, wow. I like that teal color.
Yeah, I love teal.
Oh, the little yellow one.
Really? There's one little one over here. That's a really sketchy Banksia one.
Yeah. For those that don't know what a Banksia is, it's a native flower from Australia. Well, it looks like Kate's battery has died, so she can't say goodbye, but at least you got a little tour before she left. So I will put the links to Kate's business. It's called Moontree Studio. I'll put the link to her homewares business, which is one of the best businesses and the busiest businesses on the entire mountain in the Blue Mountains, and also to her artwork, to her website. All right, everybody, I hope you enjoyed that. This was a special interview for me because Kate has become, well, she started off as my boss and she became a dear friend. And it was an absolute pleasure to have her story for my book, Boomerang. It's the very first story in that book. So lots of love, everyone. And I will again see you in the next YouTube, and I will bring you more interviews and more YouTubes as per usual. Lots of love. Ciao, ciao.